My dear brothers and sisters, citizens of Burkina Faso, fellow Africans, and people of faith around the world, I come before you today with humility, carrying a message that is deeply personal, yet urgent for us all, a message that speaks to leadership, to Islam, and to our responsibility as human beings. 3 nights ago, in the stillness before Fajr, I experienced something I can only describe as a divine visitation. Troubled by questions of security, sovereignty, and justice, I prayed my tahajjud and lay down. In that state between wakefulness and sleep, I was shown a vision. I found myself in a place filled with gentle light, and before me stood the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. His face radiated compassion and strength. His presence filled me with awe. And then he spoke to me, not with congratulations or praise, but with warnings. 6 warnings that shook my soul, and which I believe are not only for me, but for every Muslim leader, and for all of us who seek justice in this world. The first thing he told me was not to use his name to divide Muslims. He said, Ibrahim, do not declare takfir upon those who testify that there is no God but Allah, and that I am his messenger. He reminded me that during his life, even when hypocrites lived in Medina, he did not excommunicate them, because only Allah knows what is in our hearts. In our struggle against colonialism and imperialism, it is easy to call others traitors or weak believers. But the Prophet warned me that division among Muslims is the greatest fitna. Our role is not to judge faith, but to call to goodness and uphold justice. He then spoke about women. He said, do not use Islam to oppress women. Do not confuse culture with religion. He reminded me of Khadija, the successful businesswoman and first believer, of Aisha, the great scholar, and of the women who pledged allegiance to him directly. He reminded me that he taught, women are the twin halves of men, and the best of you are those who are best to their women. The Prophet warned against forced marriages, denying girls education, or silencing women in society. He said that the measure of leadership is how we treat the vulnerable, the women, the children, the poor. Justice for them is justice for all. The Prophet's next words pierced my heart. Do not use Islam to justify harshness. I was sent as a mercy to all the worlds, not as a punishment. He reminded me how he forgave the people of Makkah, how he prayed for those who stoned him in Taif, how he corrected gently even when a Bedouin urinated in the mosque. He said Allah is gentle and loves gentleness in all affairs. Yes, we must fight terrorism and defend our people. But justice must be wise, proportional, and merciful. Punishments in Sharia were rarely carried out in his time because the conditions of evidence were so strict. He warned me that it is better for a leader to err on the side of mercy than to err on the side of severity. Then he said, Ibrahim, do not let power blind you. Do not surround yourself with flatterers. Do not confuse your political will with divine will. He reminded me that even he was corrected by revelation. When he turned away from the blind man, Abdullah ibn Maktum, Allah revealed verses to guide him. He consulted his companions, listened to Umar's advice, and accepted correction. Leadership in Islam is not infallibility, it is consultation, humility, and accountability. The Prophet warned me to beware of thinking my interpretation is the only one, for Islam is vast and deep, and no single leader owns its truth. He went further and said, do not use Islam as a weapon against those of other faiths. Remember that I protected the Christians of Najran. I had Jewish neighbors in Medina. I honored treaties and showed kindness to all who lived under my care. He reminded me of the Constitution of Medina, which guaranteed rights to Muslims and non-Muslims alike. He reminded me of his promise of protection to the monks of St. Catherine's Monastery. Yes, we defend ourselves against enemies, but our default must be justice and kindness, not hostility. Mercy is not limited to Muslims. It extends to all of humanity. Finally, the Prophet looked at me with compassion and said, Ibrahim, do not neglect your own soul. Pray with presence. Read the Quran with reflection. Remember death and prepare for meeting your Lord. He reminded me that he, the greatest of creation, lived humbly. He mended his own clothes, served his family, ate simple food. He said that on the day of judgment, I will not be asked how many enemies I defeated or how much land I controlled. I will be asked, did you pray sincerely? Were you honest? Did you feed the hungry, protect the orphan, keep your word, and do justice? When I awoke from this vision, I was in tears of awe, but also of responsibility. I do not claim sainthood. I am not a prophet. I am a servant of Allah and a servant of the people of Burkina Faso, but I share this with you, because the Prophet's warnings are not only for me, they are for every Muslim leader, for every person of faith, for every one of us who seeks to walk the straight path. We live in a time when Islam is attacked from outside, misrepresented as violent and backward. But even worse, we live in a time when Islam is distorted from within, used to divide, to oppress, to justify cruelty, to silence criticism, and to spread hatred. My commitment before Allah and before you is this: I will not use Islam to divide us. I will not use Islam to oppress women. I will not use Islam to justify cruelty. I will not let power intoxicate me. I will not use Islam against non-Muslims. And I will not neglect my soul. I call upon Muslim leaders in Africa and across the world to reflect on these principles. Let us return to the true spirit of Islam, the spirit of mercy, justice, consultation, humility, and compassion for all creation. May Allah guide us, forgive us, and protect our people. May He grant us the intercession of His beloved Prophet on the Day of Judgment, and may He bless Burkina Faso and all lands where Muslims strive for dignity and justice. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. I ask for your prayers, your advice, and your constructive criticism as we build a nation that honors Islam's true teachings while respecting the dignity of all people.